Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Brandon 9mm USA here, and today we're going to be doing more of an apples to oranges comparison, with it being a single action versus a double action, but both revolvers here are in 44 Magnum. So with that as a ground rule on the video, let's move forward. So let's cover what revolvers we chose to star in this video. This is my 629 classic 5-inch 44 Magnum double action revolver, and this one right here is young Beretta's BFR from Magnum Research. It is a single action 44 Magnum revolver. Both extremely high quality revolvers, and we're going to cover them in detail. All right, we wanted to go over what we're shooting here. This is Elite Performance V Crown from SIG. It is 240 grain, traveling at 1,300 feet per second, and it carries 900 foot-pounds of energy. That's pretty impressive ammo for sure.
All right, guys, the Smith & Wesson Model 629. We haven't shot this gun in over a year by now. First rounds. What we're shooting is 6 Sauer Elite Performance V Crown ammunition. This is the Neomag Rask. Little one-hand action.
Today's video is sponsored by Core Essentials. Core Essentials makes one of the best gun belts on the market today. I've been using their gun belt products since 2016. I thoroughly believe in their belt products, and that's why we are excited to work with them now. I'm currently using the new tactical reinforced nylon belt from Core Essentials. The nylon webbing outer layer is rated up to 500 pounds. It is a very strong belt. The reinforced power core center and superfiber inner lining make this unique belt durable and stiff enough to support small to medium to even larger handguns. The belt itself is rated up to 8 pounds maximum. Of course, I am exceeding that with my duty belt setup here. This is what the belt looks like while wearing my duty belt over top of it. And guys, here's the core belt being used inside of a full duty belt. So it's strong enough to support that. It's definitely strong enough to support your CCW firearm. So now let's cover the belts and go over the system and the buckles themselves. All of Core's belts are 800% more adjustable than your old traditional belts. These trackline belts have over 40 sizing positions to choose from. You just pull the extra belt material through the buckle and you get that precise fit. You can press the belt buckle's quick release tab to loosen the belt. These features make it very easy to find that perfect fit, no matter what your size. The adjustments in the belt's track is made every 1/4 of an inch, making it very versatile indeed. The track is hidden when you wear the belt, and the track is nearly indestructible. We do not see any wear on the track belts that we have been using for over a year. The belt secured the buckle using the teeth clamps and 2 set screws. You've got classic style buckle designs here that do not scream tactical belt, because no one needs to know you're carrying a concealed weapon. Core Essentials offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and a 1-year warranty on their products. My current setup is running the X4 stainless steel buckle and a tactical reinforced gun belt. The whole package goes for a little bit less than $63 after you use the discount code B9USA. That's a real value and a good product that I have tested over time, and I highly recommend it to you guys. I will be buying several more belts coming up and giving them away as gifts, be it for a birthday or for Christmas season. So here's the 2 different color belts that are available from Core Essentials. As far as taking your gun on or off as a concealed carry person, right underneath here is the release. And it's that easy. Very strong belt. Putting it back on in this excellent leather holster right here. And that's right, guys, I've switched over to the Dan Wesson for a concealed carry handgun. Feed it through the belt buckle, and then just grab it from this end here and pull. and you're good to go. There is no slag in this belt. It holds it really tight to your hip right here. As you can see, it sucks this 1911 up right up against my hip. This is not a light overall package right here, and the belt does an excellent job. If you do place your order, guys, make sure you use the B9USA discount code and save 10% off your entire order. Now on to the review. The Magnum Research BFR revolver has a 4.75 inch barrel. It is very heavy duty, as you can see. It has a very impressive crown to it right here. The entire revolver is made of forged steel. Just the highest quality on this revolver right here. This revolver is fed 1 round at a time through this open gate right here. And the BFR holds 5 rounds of 44 Magnum. And then when you get it all loaded up, close that, set the timing, and you're ready to go. You can just tell how massive it is. In contrast, the Smith & Wesson 629 is a 5-inch revolver in 44 Magnum, double action, and yes, it holds 6 rounds of 44 Magnum or 44 Special. It loads that easy. You always have the advantage of the double action trigger pull. Or if you want, you can go single action.
I can tell you right now, this thing is a lot harder to shoot than the Magnum Research BFR before even shooting the BFR today. This thing just has more recoil felt in the hand. Okay. Alright guys, the Magnum Research BFR, again loaded with 6-hour Elite Performance ammunition, V-Crown, 44 mag. I'm shooting this right after the Smith & Wesson Model 629. Here we go. Little two-handed action to start off. This thing's a piece of cake. Little to no recoil compared to the Model 629. I think it's because of the grip and the way how it sits in your hand. The stock rubber grip on the Smith & Wesson does not absorb any recoil at all. It's all right into the hand. The Magnum Research BFR, unlike many single-action revolvers, has a full-size grip to it here, which allows you to get a full combat grip on the revolver, and it allows you to control this revolver very well. When the recoil rolls with a 44 Magnum, it just kind of goes up, and your hand rides up, and then you come back down, cock it again to fire another round. This revolver is extremely controllable compared to the Smith & Wesson 629 Classic because of the added weight to this revolver and the style of the grip as far as controlling recoil. So obviously I kind of just let the cat out of the bag, but speaking of recoil, the BFR weighs 54.6 ounces compared to the Model 629 Classic, weighing 44.7 ounces. The extra 10 ounces of weight makes the BFR more controllable in comparison to the 629 Classic. You know, it's just physics. The more added weight here helps control the round. And of course the grip, like I just mentioned earlier, also definitely does help.
Okay guys, young Beretta wants me to shoot his BFR first. He is very proud of this revolver. He loves this thing. So I'm going to shoot it, and then I'm going to shoot my Smith & Wesson, and we'll see which one I like better. Of course, this is apple to oranges, single action versus double action. We understand that, so please don't throw that in the comments. We're getting a feeling for what the difference is in the recoil and how the pistols handle. So one thing's for sure, it's accurate. Wow. Yeah, it's got some recoil to it, that's for sure. How do we unload this thing right here.
Yep.
I definitely haven't messed with it as much as you have.
There you go.
Definitely a little different for reloading here. But if you have to reload this, you've got a serious situation on your hands, because this thing has fantastic knockdown power.
When you're reloading this right here, do you feel like a cowboy at all?
Just a little bit.
Oh, God. There you go.
All right.
It's a very well-made, hand-tuned revolver.
It's pretty phenomenal. And this is a very serious round. It's definitely a ton of fun. There's no question about that.
Yep.
If you're recoil sensitive, you better wait till they come out with the 357.
Go ahead and shoot single hand now. I think you just dropped those 2 rounds.
I am not used to shooting a 44 Magnum single-handed. But not too bad.
All right.
All right.
Let's see what you think of the Smith & Wesson compared.
All right, guys, the 44 Magnum from Smith & Wesson, the 629 Classic. Double action.
So what do you think?
20% more recoil.
Told you. It's all into the hand, dude.
I did not believe you. I did not think you were telling me the truth. And yeah, it's almost 20% more recoil here, guys. Just so you know. Just, you know, keeping it completely honest. There is more recoil here than in the BFR. So let's talk about single action versus double action characteristics and just what's involved here. Because there'll be lots of people that don't know anything about revolvers at all. So it's good to explain that stuff. Not only do you feed it one at a time through the open gate here to load a single action revolver, but once that's closed, to fire the revolver in general, there is no just pulling the trigger here. You must cock it first and then fire. And then you need to reach up and cock the hammer again, which rotates the cylinder. That's basically the way the single action revolver works. Every time you have to cock the hammer before firing. Double action with this beautiful Smith & Wesson right here It's a bit easier, and that's why there's lots of these double action revolvers out there. So not only do these sell 10 to 1 over a single action, the double action is where 99% of people will be buying it for a self-defensive use over a single action revolver. You don't have to remember to cock the hammer back if you're going to use it in a high stressful situation. There is no safety on these besides the Hillary hole here, so there's nothing to worry about if you don't have that engaged. You should be able to grab the revolver and pull it through double action to make it fire. Every time you release the trigger, you can do it again. And again until you get through all 6 rounds. Or if you want to, you can reach up, pull the hammer back, and fire it from the single action position.
Which is around 5 pounds or 4 pounds. The double action is around 10 or 11, correct?
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely heavier in double action here, folks, than it is when you go to single action. I would even say 4 pounds. It's very light, and
the BFR, its trigger feels like it's around 3.75 pounds or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's lighter. And there's really not much movement to activating it. You give it a little bit of pressure, and it just goes. Pretty much every double action revolver is like this, whether you buy a Ruger or a Smith & Wesson or a Colt. Yep, it's a little bit of a workout. I do like how fast it clears the cylinder for the next reload. And there's no question which one's faster. Of course, single action versus double action revolver here.
That Mag RAS is great.
Yeah. When I'm done today, my hand's gonna hurt. Wow. Friggin' handful, one-handed. %20 more recoil.
You want to go shoot the BFR some more?
You were right.
Yeah. And of course, you guys, we're shooting high quality self-defense ammunition. Keep that in mind too.
So another thing to keep in mind is these Smith & Wesson revolvers and double actions are really the go-to revolver for self-defense. Not necessarily a 629 and 44 Magnum, but a J frame or an L frame or something smaller than this. Many people count on for self-defense and concealed carry.
And the main reason why is because in most situations you won't have the time to fan the hammer back with a single action style revolver, so double action style revolvers are preferred in a self-defense style role by us and by many other people. Reloading it here with 6-hour V-Crown ammunition. Beretta will show you the specs in a minute here on this ammo. Love the free spinning cylinder on this gun. One hand. Pull just rolls with the frame, and you don't feel it as much in the hand at all. We all know which revolver reloads faster. Definitely the Smith & Wesson. With a speed strip, speed loader. I guess it's kind of even as far as round by round. Little offhand, single hand. One more round. I love this revolver. This thing's just a 10. Oh wow, look at that. They all fell right out.
It's that high quality ammo, dude. On the other hand, you've got the single action, which are reminiscent of the old West days, or people that just enjoy shooting single action revolvers. They do it in competition. It's out there. There is a following on these single action revolvers. And I must be honest with you, it is quite fun to cock that hammer back, keep your finger off that trigger until you've got your sights lined up.
And skin that smoke wagon.
And then fire off that first round. Just remember, when you're coming back off the recoil, you need to cock it again. I'm real cognizant of getting my finger out of the trigger well when I'm working on cocking it. And I know I'm new to single action. Maybe that's not really necessary, but to me, that's the safe way to do it. So in my opinion, get that finger out of the trigger well until you cock it back again. You got your sights on target, and then reach for it. It's quite amazing and a lot of fun.
And I think the main reason why you do that is because you're worried about setting off another round when you're not prepared to, because of how light the trigger is on the single action revolvers.
Yeah, that's absolutely why I think it's a good idea. And again, there may be some experts out there with single actions that don't do that at all, but for me, being new to it, not used to it being in single action and firing this type of a round, I'd rather get my finger away from the trigger until I'm ready to fire that next round downrange. And I'm loaded up with the BFR again. I am gonna try to shoot this one-handed and see, am I a little bit more accurate with it one-handed? Obviously it's a single action trigger, so it has to be cocked back, so you've got less trigger to play with. So what was that, 5 for 5?
Yep.
So I think, yes, you can be a little bit more accurate with it. Obviously, if you practice a lot more, probably that would not be an issue. But the recoil is less. Like I said, you know, between 15 and 20%. I mean, you can definitely tell it has less recoil. I want to see if they're going to come out with this in 357. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it would.
All right, you're up next. So I wanted to get that group single-handed fire with the BFR, and that's what it came out as. First two shots were right there in the middle of the chest.
A little more shooting with the BFR. Using gravity, the casings are falling out by themselves overall. I've got 4 rounds left. There we go.
All right, guys, that's it for the BFR. Now back to the tabletop. One thing I did want to comment on real quick, there are a lot of content creators out there on YouTube that thumb the hammer back every time when they're firing a double action revolver. If you're gonna use one in the field or for defensive work or for home protection, you really need to concentrate practicing with the full double action trigger pull. In other words, hammer down, full double action pull. If you don't practice that way, you won't be used to it, and if you have to use the revolver, it may create some challenges for you. So please practice in double action a lot. If you want to thumb it back after that and do a couple rounds or a couple cylinders of single action, I understand that, but practice in double action, folks.
Expanding on that, Beretta, here, the bottom line is, if you're one of those guys that ends up wanting to get a revolver and all you're going to do is cock the hammer back on that double action revolver, you might as well just get a single action revolver that is purpose built for that style of shooting, in my opinion. This Magnum Research revolver is just extremely high quality. It's all forged parts, no MIM or cast. You know, there are some MIM parts on the Smith & Wessons nowadays, and of course the Rugers are all cast, and that's a total miss in our opinion. But anyway, moving on. This is a modern day style single action revolver in that you do have a transfer bar safety right here, which means you can carry this revolver with a full 5-round cylinder all the way loaded up and rested on a live round in the chamber. With other style single action revolvers like the older style 1873s, you want to have that empty chamber under the hammer to prevent, just in case the revolver is dropped, setting a live round off, because the hammer has a firing pin attached to it on the older style single action revolvers. Moving back to the BFR here, as mentioned, it's a great modern day single action revolver. It would be fantastic in the role of a hunting revolver, backup revolver, or an enjoyable single action revolver at the range. And at the end of the day, you guys, the viewer who's watching this video or prospective buyer is gonna have to make the determination of what type of revolver you would like to buy with your hard-earned money. We just wanted to give you our opinions on both the great double action revolver and the single action revolver and what applications and or uses we see them to be used in. Double action, again, for us is a modern defensive option. The single action is more of a range gun for us. As always, your mileage and opinions may vary, but we just wanted to share our thoughts on the subject matter of these two revolvers, double action versus single action, and make this review video.
Yeah, let me throw this out there real quick. Not only are they used at the range a lot or in shooting competitions and stuff like that, there are a lot of people out there that use both of these type of revolvers, single action and double action, as hunting pistols or hunting revolvers. You can get them in 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum. You can get this thing in much bigger calibers than that. So there's a lot of people that, believe it or not, use this single action revolver specifically to go out and hunt pretty big game with.
Yeah, very true.
Alright guys, I think that finishes up this video for us. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a little bit different than we normally bring, but this was a single action versus a double action in 44 Magnum, and what's not to like about that? As always, everyone, thanks for watching the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, Beretta 9mm USA, and don't forget to support us on Patreon if you like, for more guns and gear videos coming up in the future.